Welcome to Cowes, where the weather's redeemed itself after a cold, grey and near windless Saturday. In this week's report we've got the RORC's Guingand bowl race and Jogs race to Yarmouth. This weekend has also seen over 700 lawyers competing in nearly 70 boats for the Manches Cup, the legal sector's corporate regatta. And we've also got the first weekend of the summer-long Red Funnel Cowes Keelboat Championships. But let's start with RORC's Guingand bowl.
Saturday morning was grey and chilly, but there was 12 knots of breeze from the northeast to send the RORC fleet of 36 yachts off on the 161-mile course for this year's Guingand bowl race. Classes 2 and 3 were first away at 9 AM from the squadron line, with the fleet setting spinnakers off the line as they headed west down the Solent. Classes 1, 0 and Super 0 started together 10 minutes later, with the TP52 John Merricks of the Volvo RYA Keelboat programme making the best start by the inner distance mark to make the most of the early ebb, which was strongest inshore. In Class 2, Noel Racine's Foggy Dew took the honours after 25 hours of racing, ahead of Adrian Lower's Rolex Commodore's Cup entry Jaguar of Burnham. Michael Boyd and Niall Dowling's J105 Slingshot, sailing double-handed, was third in class and took second in the two-handed division, behind Nick and Susie Jones' Astarte. Simon Kerwin's J105 Voador was third among the 10 double-handed boats. In Class 3, the oldest boat in the fleet, Paul March's S&S design Clarionet, was to sail to victory. David Lee's high-tension 36 Hepzibah continued her consistent form with a second place, and the double-handed Astarte was third. John Merricks led the way around the course to take Super Zero and overall honours. Formidable was second in Super Zero, but Peter Harrison's Chernihiv 2 had to retire with a backstay problem while in contention. In Class 0, the top three were all British Rolex Commodore's Cup boats, with Nick and Annie Hayes' DK46 Dark and Steamy winning the class from Jerry Otter's Kerr 39 Eravale 3. David Lansfield's First 45 Poppy of Portland Marina was third. Class 1 honours were taken by Philippe Delaporte's J122 Penazen for the second race in succession. In second place was the Army Sailing Association's British Soldier, while Sailing Logic's Reflex 38 Puma Logic was third. A half hour after the RORC fleet had headed west, it was time for Jogs' inshore race around the Cans to Yarmouth. Class 5 was first away, with Alchemist making her usual excellent start to lead the fleet west. Despite the good start, Alchemist could only manage 6th, while Class 5 was won by Shadowfax after a 5-hour race, ahead of Blazer and Mistengo. Class 4's start saw Joe Richards and Stephen Fine's latest Full Pelt make the best start, and she went on to take the honours. Second in this class was No Doubt, and with alacrity took third. Class 3 was last away at 10:30, with 2 boats over early. Oz Privateer took line honours, but it was White Cloud 9 which took the handicap win, ahead of Alaris, with Oz Privateer taking third. In the return race to Cowes on Sunday, Blazer won Class 5, Full Pelt made it a double in Class 4, while Alaris won Class 3. This year saw the 18th Manches Cup deliver the largest fleet so far. It's organised by Britannia Events, and this social, sporting and networking event for lawyers has become one of the largest corporate regattas Cowes sees each year. Racing was held for 3 divisions, which covered 2 racing divisions for bareboats and skippered charters, plus a cruising non-spinnaker division. Saturday's very light winds made for tricky racing coupled with grey and chilly weather, and only one race could be sailed. Sunday was much better and delivered more wind and sunshine to lighten the spirits. A biased start line for Sunday's race and a strong tide made it essential to be at the committee boat end, but some boats tried just too hard. There were only 2 boats in Division 1, with Watson, Farley and Williams winning both races ahead of Ashurst. In Division 2A, Pete Newland's 40.7 Anticipation, on charter to Berwyn Leighton Paisner LLP, won both races to take the honours in the 18-boat fleet. In second was Ince & Co with 2 seconds, while Baker and Mackenzie LLP took 2/3 to secure the final place on the podium. Division 2B with 24 boats saw a similar dominance, with Freshfields Brookhouse Derringer taking 2 wins. Adrian Christmas Solicitors secured 2 seconds, and Walder Wiss and Partners took 2/3. In the 20-boat cruising Division 3, Simmons and Simmons scored a second and third to take overall honours, 1 point ahead of Howell Jones LLP, which won the first race but took 5th in the second. In third place was Sidley Austin LLP. This weekend saw the first racing in this season's Red Funnel Cows Keelboat Championship. Racing on this weekend, the first of 6 spread through the summer, was run by Cows Corinthian Yacht Club. Saturday delivered light conditions with only 7 knots at the start of the first race of the day for the 6 metres, but this was to drop steadily throughout the race. Although there were only 4 6 metres out on Saturday, it was good to see these classic keelboats coming out to race. Paul Smith's Valhalla showed good speed to take the race easily ahead of Wildcat 2, with Arvia Wilmot's Cream coming in third. There was a long wait for the wind to reappear and allow a second race, but Valhalla comfortably won that as well, with the others finishing in the same order as in the first race. A small fleet of just 4 Etchells turned out on Saturday. Graham Bailey, sailing arbitrator, dominated both races of the day. Robert Goddard's Ragtime took second in the first race, with David Franks' Elvis in third. These two swapped places behind arbitrator in the second race. 11 Darings took the start of the first race. Variable pressure and large shifts across the course made for an interesting battle, with Decoy coming out on top ahead of Dolphin in second, and Defender taking third. In the second race, Dauntless took the win, ahead of Decoy and Defender. 7 Dragons turned out to race on Saturday, and in this fleet it was Owen and Josie Pay's Njord which dominated in both races. Cavalier finished second in both races, while Supremacy took third in the first race, and Amy came third in the second race of the day. Sunday delivered much brighter conditions with more wind. 5 international 6 metres came to the line, but the results were a repeat of Saturday, with Valhalla taking both races, with Wildcat 2 second in each, and Cream in third. The only difference was that Erica came out to play, and took 4th in each race, relegating Lisbeth 5 to 5th. The racing was quite processional, as there are clear speed and boat handling differences between the boats, which hopefully will be evened out as the season progresses. Nine Darings came out to play on Sunday, with Defender winning the first race of the day. Behind her, Audax came through from a poor start to take second, with Dynamite third, and Saturday's leader Decoy taking 4th. Decoy bounced back to form in the second race to take the win, ahead of Dynamite, with Defender third. While Decoy dominated the weekend in the Daring fleet, it was Njord which was doing the same thing among the Dragons. Having won both races on Saturday, Njord went out and won the first race on Sunday, despite a start which saw them over the line and having to return. Norbert was second and Cavalier was third. Cavalier dented Njord's winning streak in the final race, taking the honours ahead of Njord, with Virago coming home third. The next round of the Red Funnel Cows Keelboat Championship will be run by the Royal Yacht Squadron on 31st of May and 1st of June.
Well, that's all for this week. Join us next week for all the news from the second May Bank Holiday weekend. See you then.